There is something common between all of us. We all respect time. So let us start the session on time. These are the lines of Mr. Praveen Vadalkar, our public speaking guru, mentor, and guide. I am following his footsteps. Let us start my session also on time. How many of you believe that planning is a learnable skill? How many of you would like to know the 4 steps of planning process? Maybe all of you are here because of these questions. That is what you are here. You wanted to learn the 4 steps of planning process. In today's session, let us understand the 4 step of planning process. I will discuss this in 3 parts. Basically looking at what is that something as researchers, a lot of research are there, tons and tons of research. I picked up one research from there. What is that they are talking about on the planning as part of the research? Next one, we will look at from the experts. There are a lot of management gurus, experts, decades and decades, 3 decades, 4 decades, they are doing work on that. Let us understand what is it they are talking about in that. Finally, based on my experience with corporate, almost, this is, all of you know me. That is the reason you are here, Ram Krishnan, taking this session today. I'm the Managing Director of GenSource India Private Limited and a business transformation coach. I started my business consulting organization, GenSource India Private Limited, in the year 2018. Prior to that, I worked in global corporate for almost 34 plus years, served in the companies like ABB, HP, Wipro, GE Capital, KPIT, Cummins, Canbay, CGI, and DXC. Finally, I jumped into the entrepreneurship journey. Look back, I started in 1984, my career as a part-time typist. I grown up in the corporate ladder as manager, general manager, assistant vice president. And at peak of my career, I was responsible for managing close to about $81 billion of a budget. Expenses for the per annum expenses for this organization. The company had about 500 employees, direct employees in my department, and close to about 3,500 indirect employees to do various activities for the function. Currently, I'm penning down a book called Local to Global, a 3-step process for business growth, and also working on releasing my second edition of the first book, Focus 5, a practical guide for career growth, so that you have some background of me if you have not done the research, what is that I am, why I am coming here and talking about the planning. Before we actually jump into the thing, I had very few questions, very simple questions. Let us start understanding this simple question. Just this also to warm up us, is planning important to you? One of the things is you are all here, that itself says that it is important to you. Even then, it shows me how many of you are very actively participating and doing it. Let us look at the another question. This is, do you have a problem in meeting the set timelines? This is what we all come up with. We have a problem. All these issues start. I wanted to know how many of you really have a problem in meeting your set timelines. At the end of the session, I expect at least you find about 30 minutes to an hour, which is going to be with you. That is the thing for you to investing a time here. You are going to gain that. That's what I'm looking at. So before I actually get into my session, I have one more question for you, all of you to answer. Are the slippages due to poor or bad planning? Most of the time we say, this is a bad planning, that's what is happening and all. Are the slippages due to poor or bad planning? This is the slide. And when we talk of planning, when you look, most of us, including me, many times when planning comes is something is cluttered. This is an image. Most of the time it comes into our mind. When you want to take a step and you are ready to learn and ready to do certain things, when you go there, you see there is so much of a thing available in the market, today in the web world. You search, there are many things. You go on to the YouTube, you see there are many people advertising, do this, do that, do this. You have to decide. You are confused. What is that you wanted to do? Where you wanted to start? Let's look at what some of these research are talking about with respect to the planning part of it. See, the International Journal of Current Research. This I am just picking it up from give a background of that. International Journal of Current Research, Volume 7, Issue 1, January 2015. A case study paper submitted by Dr. Lakshmikant Sharma, Department of Commerce and Management, DAV College, Amritsar, India, on a Delhi Metro project, which all of us know about it. The writing under the heading Project Success and Failure is relevant to this topic, what we are discussing, the planning. So I picked up some of those researches. First is they went on researching about why project failed. One of the 1997 field project reports says project scope is not fully appreciated or user not understood. In 99, Lechet report which says higher user expectation. Because of that, there's a problem. This 1991 I consider is a very, very important study. Anil and Thompson, they studied 24 areas of project management and found 3 most important things which needs to be taken care. That is what is causing the failure in project. One is good planning. If it is not there, there is chances of project failure. Responsibility and accountability. Third one is the schedule control. If these 3 things are not there, you are going to have challenges in managing the project. Then also there is a Standish Group report on successful project. User involvement, executive management. They are talking about what are the characteristics of a successful project. The earlier one talked about why some of the failure had happened because of the bad planning, not doing that, and all the thing. Here they are talking about user involvement, executive management, clear statement of requirement, proper planning, and realistic expectation. All this you find in a successful project. And here also I would like to draw the last point, which I have taken it from one of the another research paper submitted at the Lithuanian Sport University Kaunas made the remark, planning is related with mind activity and development of an organization. So if we look at all this research, there is some element of planning. They talk about if you do the project based on this report submitted by this person from Amritsar only. The Delhi Metro project was a so successful project. They have taken all care to ensure that everything is in place. So if you see, many of those factors which is mentioned is very well taken care in the metro project. If we talk of metro today, what comes to our mind is only the Delhi Metro, which was completed on time. So now moving from here, we will look at what is some of the management gurus, the global authorities they are talking about. So here, the Brian Tracy is a Canadian-American motivational public speaker and a self-development author on this topic. So when he deals with this topic, he talks about how to create an action plan. He says, decide exactly what you want first. Write your goal or goals down on a paper. Set a clear deadline. then do all things to achieve whatever is required. He says, make list of everything that you could possibly think that you will have to do to achieve your goal. Irrespective of whether it is small or big, everything has to be done. Schedule into a comprehensive plan. That's what he talks about. We end with this perspective, with this his quote. Your problem is to bridge the gap between where you are now and the goals you intend to reach there. All of us are here. We are somewhere here. We wanted to reach some other place. So we are looking at, I am here. How do I reach there? How I reach there is a question. That's what we are all looking at, and we are all wanting to see that. There is another very interesting perspective which I wanted to share from the Mr. Stephen Covey, an American educator, author, businessman, and a keynote speaker. His most popular book, I'm sure all of you must have read, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. When he talks of principles of effectiveness, when you wanted to do certain things, how things changes. One of the things is the way you see, that's a paradigm at which you see the things. You look at the paradigm at which you wear the colored glasses. If you look at with that kind of a lens, what you see is what you start practicing it. That is what you do, and that is the result you get it at the end of it. That what you see, then what you do is what you get. Effectiveness requires integrity to act on your priorities. Why I have put this slide is, if you all believe, some of you had said the planning is difficult. The moment you think that is the paradigm, I want all of you to remove it from your side. Planning is not difficult. Planning is easy. I can do wonderfully planned things. I can achieve things very well. That is what you need to have that in mind. If you go with that kind of a paradigm, you start getting lot of practices in that area. You wanted to do that. That is what will happen. Then you start doing it. You will get the ultimate results, what you are looking at it. This is very much true. And I am not taking the session. One of the things, your mind is so powerful. For that reason, I am sure all of you would have read some of the books on how mind is. Think and Grow Rich is the one book which I recommend all of you to read it. Any management book you take it, I see that is a subset of Think and Grow Rich book only, nothing else other than that. It has got, mind is so powerful, you need to start looking at it. How do you do that? So start changing your paradigm and start the practices of doing a good planning and get the good results. And I'm sure you will not be disappointed. You will get to see that. You will definitely learn from here and do that. So now, before I start giving the 4 steps of the planning process, and I wanted you to look at how I learned this 4 steps of planning process is something which I want all of you to know. If you know that gives you some kind of a information to you, saying that it is not only I'm preaching here, I practiced it in my life. That is what you will start understanding that. Here I remember until my adulthood, that is up to the age of my 19 years, we were one of the posh, richest families in my village. There's a 100 family village. This is the village. There we were one of the family. There are few of the families were rich. We are one of them in that. And anything and everything we want, there were people, there were servants, things to do that. It's a very beautiful home I had today. Everybody goes to the farmhouses. I lived in until the teen age in the kind of a farmhouse kind of an environment. 100 coconut trees are surrounded, and the entire my house, both the side are paddy field, and just a kilometer and a half if I walk, I have a huge Periyar river. This is a place if you go from Madurai in Tamil Nadu towards Thekadi, a famous tourist place, in between that it comes, this place is a small village. In that, everything was going very well, as I was talking to you, till 1978, somewhere in mid of 1978, things were going very well. As India got independence on the midnight, Tamil Nadu government at that point in time, they made a rule saying that my father was a village accountant. So I stopped I just said, my father was a village accountant. This job got on a hereditary basis. My grandfather was having, because of that he got it. They abolished that kind of a system. They said that there is no job for him on the middle of the year. I don't remember exact month. Middle of 1978, I was just going to the graduation, pre-university is called that point in time. He lost the job. Moment he lost the job, one of the things is people have loaned to him, were expecting that he pays the money immediately. That is what the thing. And I saw my relatives, friend who so called, they were there. All of them are flying away. No one was there. And we were the family members, whatever the five of us, my two sisters, father, mother, and myself. And we have to go through all those orderals from 1978. And I somehow completed my graduation through my community, which has supported me by way of giving money. In 83, I completed my graduation and came to Bangalore and got a job in 1984. And 84 onwards, in the next 6 years, I've turned around everything. I put in a lot of things. I become a more kind of a thing, whatever is the thing, the problem, all problems we had, we have turned it around and brought in a very comfortable lifestyle for us. This is what very, very important. That's what I worked on that and got that very much. Within 6 years of a time, I've used that, and I took this 4 steps of the planning process, whatever I'm going to tell you, has helped me to take a decision very boldly at the age of 55, 56 years, around that, come out of a corporate, take a voluntary retirement, start moving forward and looking at the rest of the thing. So it is so powerful, and if we start, letter and spirit start using it and working on it, it's really going to help and change what you are going to do that. So these are the 4 steps of planning process. 1 minute. They are, one is the prioritization. P of a plan is the prioritization. In prioritization, I want you to look at these things. One thing you need to do is identify all activities, including the smallest of the task, what you need to do that. Prioritize them according to the order of importance. Assign tasks with a clear ownership. It's very, very important. Then fix timelines, expected date of completion. Review the progress periodically. Initiate corrective action to be on track based on your regular review mechanism. You need to take stock of those plans and what is that you need to do. If you look at, this is what Mr. Brian Tracy talks about in the various planning researchers talks about and all other things. This is what exactly I did. Here, I wanted to stop the share and otherwise let me do it, run through these steps and give you those 2 examples, one from my life, how these tools have helped me to be as successful in that, one from the corporate. There are many examples in corporate. I just picked up one for the want of time today, whatever we have in that. So these are the things very, very important you need to do. I'm not only putting this, I will show it to you with the Excel sheet. I have the proof how I have done for some of those personal activities and how I do my time management part of it on day in, day out. So identify all activities. Sometimes what happens is we think that this is a very small activity. Let me remember and do it. Nothing, no remembering. All has to be in your list. Prioritize them according to order of importance. Assign task and clear ownership. Fix timelines, expected date of completion. Review progress periodically. Sometime you may plan. Things may not work as per the time. So it requires review and take. Again, I just give an example here. I plan to release this book almost a month back. But when I looked at, when these guys go through the process, there are certain things pushes you. They come with a lot of, when it get converted into a different format, there are issues comes in. So I need to look at, now I've just moved in a date. I see that definitely before end of this year, 2020, December, somewhere middle, it would get released. That's where you constantly reviewing it, it will help. If you are not doing it, things will never happen. Then second, learn and unlearn. Here, I just want to point out to you, one other thing is you need to learn from seniors. A classic example here is there are people, Speak and Grow family. I should thank clearly the Praveen Vadalkar for doing his wonderful platform and his entire team supporting us and doing this. Apart from that, you should have given, I am giving you all the lessons and I'm giving you all this thing, you please prepare and go and do that. But whoever has done a freedom program, definitely acknowledge me if you are there in this session. He took pain of recording 1 hour video for all of us, whoever is going to do in the freedom program, right from keep a water bottle next to you, have that before coming into that, get into the loop. What are some of things based on his experience? When you are doing a live program, you need to take care of it, which we have very clearly listed out and given to us. That is what something I'm saying. When you are doing it, you need to go back and look at saying that what is that something you learn from the seniors, your boss or colleagues, some of them experts. And also it's very important, we need to unlearn certain things from point of it. There are, as in a technological world, things are changing. And today the training business is a classic example of that. Because all these days, most of them believe saying that person to person, I get people, 100 people, 200 people, address them. And today you are all virtually there and you need to get prepared towards that. And for virtually doing that, whatever is required, even today, I'm saying I'm not 100% equipped to do all this virtual training programs and other things, but getting prepared. That is very, very important. And we need to certain things unlearn and start working on it. And also it's very important from the previous projects, you need to understand what has happened, what went well, what are some of things are good, what is it something, the good learning we can do it. When I share an example, I'll tell you what is some of the good things we learned from the previous project. And also it's very, very important, adapt to a lifelong learning. It's very, very important and we need to do that and we need to cultivate this lifelong learning habit. And third comes in is your accountability. That is the P is done, L and A, accountability. It's clear ownership you need to take, and when you are doing an activity, you need to go get into the levels and start working on and seeing what is some of the estimated cost, some of the thing project you are doing it, either it may be a project in organization you are doing or it may be your personal project you are doing it, need to have clear estimation. Or you buying a house, doing certain things. Then many times return on investment. Certain things you are buying, you need to do. If it's an organization, always ask you, what is the return on investment? By way of doing it, who is going to get benefited? What is it in for me? We need to answer all those questions. Then source of funds is very, very important and we need to look at. It's not that we have a credit card, because of that we pay. There also you need to put ownership, whether you will be able to go back and pay every month, monthly installment, you have the capability to do it. Otherwise, don't use the credit card. That's what it comes into that. You need to completely accountable when you are doing certain things and start working on it. And resource management, when in a bigger project and when you are doing a bigger things to do scheme of thing, either it is your personal activities or it is your professional activities, you need to have the right resource management is very, very important. If you take care of that resource, your planning would definitely be a successful planning. Then always we need to look at what is something newness which we can bring in. Is there a better way of doing things? So even if it may be a repetitive job, even it may be a monotonous job, whatever it is, you need to look at, is there a better way I can do things? And there should be bring in some kind of a surprising element is when you start thinking about it, you start finding a different way of doing things rather than only this way you need to do that. Then experiment and pilot. Always we need to look at an experiment and pilot and learn from that. And use of technology is something in any planning today, something which you can't forget about it. You can't say that I am not going to use or do any of those things. This is the 4-step planning process. I'll just going to explain this to you from my personal experience. This example I am sharing from my experience of conducting my daughter's wedding in the year 2016. So when we decided for the marriage, it all started from the engagement. We said very clear plan who all need to be invited, what is that we need to do, what are all the kind of items which we need to buy. Then when it comes after that comes is the marriage. Engagement is done, then look at, you see, we looked at on all the thing, there are dates by which how many people will come for a lunch, how many people will be there for the snacks, how many people will be there for the breakfast, reception, dinner, and the lunch. This is the way you will go. I went about planning entire thing. What was the result of this planning? This planning finally achieved, there was no wastage of food which was there in the marriage. Normally you look at, there are lots of wastages happening. Then we went on to identifying what are the hotels and clear expenses summary. Some of it is I hidden here because this is personal information. One of the estimated amount, advance paid, balance, what is that you need to do that, and all the thing you have a tracker and monitor that. So you need to be within the budget and plan what you are doing it, and the sources of fund you need to do that. Then a clear checklist. Here also there is a lot of stakeholders, ownership, different people will come, friends will come, relatives will come, wanting to help you all do that. Then food. At the end of it, what is it going to be, order you are giving it, then clear things to do on day-to-day basis, whatever it is, then get into the plan on part of it, whatever exactly need to be done. Then on the day of the thing, now whatever it is, the program, you need to plan such a way that we planned in such a way that hour to hour, what will happen, what is it, some of the things going to happen, till getting into the gift and cash kind of a thing, whatever it comes in. So it is possible. One other thing is you need to spend that much of a time and start working on it. This I am sharing you one of the time sheet. You can plan various things in your thing, whatever you want to do. This is some of my time sheet. There are various activities I have been doing it. I need to have certain thing, need to give time for me, time for my business, time for those speak and grow videos if I am recording, and all those things need to plan. So if you are planning it, I'm not saying that if I planned because of this, I have done everything 100% of the time on the dot as per this. It will drive you towards that to an extent of 75-80%. You do it also. It is something going to be very great. That's what I did, that we went into the greater depth in detail. And if we look at, I just put that the engagement invite list, we had an engagement plan. and items to purchase, marriage invite, hotel booking, expense summary, source of fund, time. There, all these factors were there. Prioritization was there. Learn. We also went back to our elders, some of the people, seniors who were there, went back to them and understood how things to be done, what needs to be done. All we went back and started understanding from them very clearly how it has to be done, what needs to be done. So that is what learn. And accountability. Since this was my daughter's marriage, I was solely accountable for anything and everything in that happens. That you can't, accountability can't be delegated to multiple people. There is one person has to, at the end of it, take it. If you are managing a project, as a project manager, you are accountable for, take ownership for anything and everything what happens in the project. Then, from the corporate world, I managed, because I worked in close to 34 plus years in the corporate, out of that 25 plus years in various leadership roles. I worked in the organization. Most part of it, I was heading the corporate real estate and facilities and administration function as a director or vice president or head of the function. I've been working on that. Here, one of the project which we did was, there was two major companies which decided to merge together. As part of that, that is the time I was in DXC, that's a HPE, and CSC. These are the two companies were coming together. The merger was happening. I was managing their real estate consolidation project in India. The requirement was, there's a corporate prepared a certain kind of a list, asked us to work on it and vacate these facilities and do that. So one of the things is, I took a little bit of a time from corporate, which normally does not happen in corporate. They trusted and given me some time. We went back with a clear plan of how do we achieve that $10 million saving in that project. So we went back and worked on that. 6 months of a time. I wanted to explain the complexity of this project so that you understand how this planning techniques, what I talked about, has really helped me in achieving the desired results, what we were looking for. One of the things is, there are certain facilities needs to be closed down. There are certain facilities needs to be densified, because traditional facilities had more than 120, 125 square foot per person. Those places need to be densified. There are some requirement of close to about 3.5 lakh of square foot of space. We need to newly lease it out and do the fit out for those projects and move all the people into the facility. For all these activities, we had only 6 months of a time, and I had project right from Himachal Pradesh, Solan, to NCR, then coming back to Calcutta, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, across the country, the projects were running it. So it's a so complex project. But if you ask me, because I use these planning tools, and these are the steps, what are the key actions which I have taken, I'm just going to read that out. First is, we established a clear criterion for facilities like offices with X number, 500 numbers of employees to be retained, rest to be consolidated, and offices older than 10 years to be vacated. Listed down the lessons learned from the previous experience. So we took 2 or 3 projects which got completed from the recent, both the sides, went on and understood what were some of the success stories, the post-mortem analysis people call. Then we decided those mistakes, we should not do it. How do we better that? Identify the space to be retained, surrendered, and subleased after taking consideration of all the growth needs. Then these filters have been done. We apply the filters, identify the locations, discussed with all the stakeholders. There are so many stakeholders in that. It is not only the administration and facilities department, finance department, legal, the compliances of STPI and SEZ, Software Technology Parks of India, Software Export Promotion Zone, people will get involved in that. Company secretary will get involved in that. It's a company merger. Global corporate people will get involved in that. There are multiple local Indian leadership team will get involved in that. With all of them, we had the clear one-to-one, discussed with them and explained the action which we are taking. A clear buying in was there. Individual stakeholder has been provided to give a project plan. Then we combine all those individual projects into a master project plan, put in a system. To one of the things is in this kind of a merger, you are going to save about $10 million. You may have few $1 million of spend you need to make it. That is where you achieve this saving. For that, you need to have set up a mechanism and delegation of authority, who will approve, whom I need to go and ask for it. All those things has been very clearly defined. Then the legal requirements. Legal has to go through each and every document of the location which you are vacating. It's a master service agreement or a statement of work of a client or the lease agreement, looking at on all the details needs to be taken. The compliances requirement, which you talked about, SEZ and STPI, HR challenges. There is in one location we had huge HR challenge. It is from the state government. It's the smallest location we had, but state government had written regulations. If we follow that only, we will be able to close that. All this thing has been taken care and we put in. And if I tell you, I did for this project every day only to 30 to 45 minutes of review. Nothing else than that. Because so much initially, we spent good amount of a time in planning, identifying the right stakeholder, providing the right resources, learning from our mistakes, and accountability partner who is going to accountable for what needs to be done. All this thing and systematically done. With that, as the head of the project, as the head of corporate real estate facility for India, I used to spend only 30 to 45 minutes in this project, understanding where you have a challenge, how the challenge can be overcome, what support people need. This is what has been done. With that, I was able to complete the project and happily take my voluntary retirement also after that. I given you the 4 steps. I given you my live examples also. My life, what actually I have done, how I have taken it. One of the thing is what I talked to you till now is clearly made sense to you and you understood that. In conclusion, what I wanted to say is over the 35 years of my professional experience, I have seen many young professionals die due to heart attack, cardiac arrest, and suicides. All this death attribute to high pressure at workplaces. If you ask them, they will say that it is what? If you further analyze, the prime reason is they were unable to plan things and slowly push themselves into the stressful life. See, one of the famous doctor in Narayan Hridayalaya here in Bangalore, he says, Devi Sethi, senior surgeon, always he gives a lot of advice to the younger generation, but most of us do not give serious attention to plan for exercise. Even after knowing the personal health is most important to achieve all the things in rest of the things in our life, we don't do that. After today's session, if you are able to spare, that's what I started with it. If you are able to find that 30 or 45 minutes of time for doing this exercise, I would be very happy, achieved my results. I am not a structured planner. Is that a sin? This question you need to ask. You are not a structured planner. Are you able to achieve the things what you wanted to achieve in your life? See, there is a story I wanted to give you. My first book story is, I decided in the year, I think it was in 2001, I left Wipro that point in time. During the farewell, with lot of enthusiasm, I said that I am going to write a book in that. After that, I have been just procrastinating things. Almost nothing had happened till the year 2014. So that is the point in time I put this on my vision board, saying that I need to write a book. First book has to be published. That had hit me hard when I put it to my vision board, started looking at it. Then what I did was I started writing one-page article every week to one of the facility management forum. One midnight I picked up and told those facilities management forum people, saying that I'm going to write an article every week, call this Monday as the knowledge sharing week. I'll keep sharing my knowledge. They also accepted. I started writing article every day, 52 weeks non-stop. I wrote an article and I got 52 chapters were ready. In 2015, I released my first book with 35 chapters. That first book is what going through a second edition now, which is expected in the month of January or so. That's what happens. So it is important. What is that you wanted to do? Unless you put something in a plan, it is not, you have to answer those questions, need to do that. How did you choose topic for writing a book? First part of it is I had a passion. First book is my passion. What I had was I wanted whatever I know, I wanted to share to the world. That is what I did. It is Focus 5, a practical guide for career growth. Each chapter gives you 5 points for you to start with. So my passion, I wanted to pursue and start sharing with the people. By way of writing the book also, what has helped me was, it has helped me to fine-tune myself. I started getting to know what is the author's language, what is the outside world needs to be done, what is some of the, even today, if you ask me, I am not a perfect person in kind of when you come into the language and other thing. Yes, there are certain things continuously we need to keep improving it. I started that. Second book is definitely had a reason, which I started my business consulting as a business transformation. Based on that, we have a 3-step process in business transformation. On that, I have written a book, Business Transformation. That's where, what is that? Ask, what is that one skill, some of the thing which is you are good at, start working on it, and I'm sure you will be able to write. So it's all different experience. Some people feel pressure. I'm also going into the Himalayas is good. Himalaya is good. And our guru and mentor Praveen Wadalkar goes on the unplanned trips, takes various things. That's what he does it. That's what it happens. Then each one has got its own passion. You should start pursuing your passion. What is that you are good at, and you will be able to do a good thing on that. So thank you very much for each one of you taking your time, and I also sincerely thank Speak and Grow family, Mr. Praveen Wadalkar, for his greater guidance and helping the people to do how we will go about what is that we can do and all the thing. And Sheelam Tagore is a fantastic person and anytime is ready to help you to do the things. And this is the forum. Whoever is not coming to the Freedom Program, I would suggest and request try. And so confidently I'm talking about because in the last 2 months, I have made close to about 300 plus videos in my library, which is there. If I go back and see my first video, I will laugh at myself. That is the way I started. And today I am at this level is because of Speak and Grow the family. And thank you very much. And until we meet again, this is Ram Ramakrishnan signing out with lots of gratitude. Thank you.